Howdy. Well, we are now in the season of Lent, the 40 days, not counting Sundays, before Easter, where we examine where we are in our walk with Christ. We remember the 40 days that Jesus was tempted in the wilderness, and we, like him, prepare ourselves for our mission, for our calling. The three kind of pillars of Lent are prayer, fasting, and almsgiving. This is a time we need to be intentional about our prayer, to be deliberate about setting aside time to pray with God. And remember, it's with God. It's a two-way street. We bear our souls before Christ, lifting all of our cares, our concerns, our anxieties, our joys, celebrations as well. But we also take the time to listen for his response, to hear his call upon our souls, his guidance in our lives. The second is fasting. Now, normally we think of this as food, um, things we shouldn't eat. Traditionally, you give up meat except on Fridays where you have fish. Uh, and food is something that we should think about, and fasting on food with proper medical supervision is a good idea. But it's also to fast from those things that distract us from serving God, distract us from um, taking the time to do the things that we should do, to, get rid of those things in our lives that are dragging us away from God and not closer to God, or simply wasting our time. Things like spending too much time on the internet, or um, sports, or watching videos, or whatever it is that takes away your time from loving God and loving your neighbor as yourself the way that God intended. It's good to find something that you give up for Lent, a bad habit that you really need to get rid of. It's a good time to do it. The third is almsgiving. Now, giving to the poor is normally what we think of when we say almsgiving, but it's being generous with your time, being generous with your money, being generous with your resources. God has blessed us with great gifts, and we should reflect that graciousness that God has in our lives. Being gracious with our time, being friendly, being open, being someone who makes other people feel comfortable, giving of our resources so that other people have relief from their pain and their suffering. Now, obviously, it's good to give to the church, but remember, it's more about you being generous than it is the money going to the church. Don't tell the treasurer that. So these are the practices that we are supposed to engage in. These are the practices that over this time we think about how we grow closer to being who Christ calls us to be, closer to the heart of Christ. So think about how you're going to grow this season for over these 40 days so that when Easter arrives, you can lay your sins at the foot of the cross and thank God for the most marvelous gift in all of history, the resurrection and redemption that we have through Jesus Christ. Thanks for listening. Adios.